If you drive for Uber Eats, DoorDash, Postmates, Grubhub, really any of them, in this video, I'm going to recommend that you do something that otherwise you should never do. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike. This channel is dedicated to your success in this gig economy, the side hustle. So if you are new here, consider subscribing. So I just finished an Uber Eats and DoorDash shift. I was driving with my brother Matt here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it really dawned on me that this hack can almost double your hourly income, but you should only do this on very, very specific situations. So this driving hack is called multi-apping, but it's a little bit different than maybe what you're used to. Because traditionally, when I recommend multi-apping, that's something that you should absolutely do. Multi-apping refers to what we did tonight. It's driving on different apps at the same time. We were online with Uber Eats and DoorDash, and that's going to allow you to compare different orders across different platforms. So that gives you the opportunity, as you can see here. We can compare Uber surge pricing when you're driving, of course, on the Uber platform, and you can compare, really cross-compare with any incentives on the DoorDash platform. And there were bonuses on the DoorDash platform, really good ones. A $5 peak pay bonus. That's $5 extra on every single delivery. And we cross-compared that because we were multi-apping with Uber Eats that had a 1.4, 1.5 surge. So that is multi-apping, just being active online with the different apps at the same time. Again, so you can cross-compare bonuses and pay. So really, whatever niche you're driving in this gig economy, I highly recommend multi-apping, let's say Uber and Lyft with the rideshare space. Or again, with food delivery, you want to be active on Grubhub, Postmates, DoorDash, all of them. But this hack is much, much more niche. So let's talk about exactly what it is. So I don't know, maybe we'll call this the perfect multi-app, or maybe the double down multi-app. I like that one. So we'll say the double down multi-app. Let me explain what it is and how we executed it perfectly in tonight's shift. The double down multi-app is, yes, we're multi-apping. We're driving on these different apps at the same time, and we're waiting for orders to come in. That's step number one. So step number two, you may get this, simultaneous order requests. So traditionally, when you're multi-apping, you're gonna look at these simultaneous requests and you'll simply pick the one that pays you better. You're gonna be looking at things like the dollars to mile ratio, the dollars to time ratio, how fast would it take to complete it, and again, you'll simply just pick the best one. But with this niche double down multi-app, we actually took both. This is traditionally something that I wouldn't recommend that you do, is taking simultaneous orders on different platforms. That's just gonna throw off the ETA, the order expectation for your customer. But for this shift, of course, we took both orders. We took an order on Uber Eats and we took an order on DoorDash at the same time. Now let's go over the very specific criteria of when you may want to do this. So number one, it really needs to be simultaneous order requests. So we got just that. We got that ping, the order request on Uber Eats, and basically simultaneously, we got the order request and the ping on DoorDash. So there's no delays there, and generally it's gonna be a pretty similar prep time at the restaurant. Criteria number two, the pickup locations couldn't have been better. They were basically right next to each other. I would not take any simultaneous requests where the pickup is really not next to each other in the same plaza, across the street, or in this case, basically one building apart. Because if you have to drive down the road, let's say 5 minutes to another plaza, the restaurant isn't close by, in my opinion, that's when it starts throwing things off, especially for your customers. But this was pretty ideal. It checked off number one, a simultaneous request, and it checked off number two. The pickup locations were pretty much right next to each other. And a very, very important number three, and frankly, you have to have all three of these line up to do a double dip multi-app. And that is the drop-off locations were, again, basically pretty close by. So close by that it was really down the road. It was 2 minutes between drop-off A on Uber Eats and drop-off B on DoorDash. I do want to go over some very important considerations if you're going to consider this very niche double down multi-app. It's really the requirements in criteria 2 and criteria 3. That is how far the requests are from each other, and then how far are the drop-offs from each other. Here is where I want to ask you the question. The restaurants in this example, again, it was basically right next to each other. It was kind of one building separating the two restaurants. And then the drop-offs between Uber Eats and DoorDash, they were literally, it was right down the road, down the hill. It was a 2-minute difference. How far would you spread that apart? Let's say the restaurants were 1 minute from each other, maybe 2 minutes from each other, or maybe the drop-off, or maybe or the drop-off location was 3 minutes or 5 minutes from each other. I need you to let me know down below in the comments, how often do you do this double down multi-app where you actually take simultaneous requests but on different platforms? So yeah, number one, how often are you doing this strategy? And number two, what is your criteria for doing this? Is it the restaurants have to be right next to each other in the same plaza? Or especially on the drop-off, does it have to be really on the same street, 2 minutes apart, or maybe 5 minutes is your cap for that? Let us know down below in the comments. Because I feel like if your distances either at the pickups or the drop-offs are too far apart, you should not do this. Because again, generally, I don't recommend doing this for a lot of reasons, for distance, for wait time, and or if these order requests are not simultaneous. But if all three line up, simultaneous, close pickups, close drop-offs, you may want to consider the double down multi-app. But if you got value in this video, definitely drop me a like, and you can also click or tap the screen now for my most recent video, as well as a video recommended for you, and I'll see you in the next one.